påverkat så mycket att ni är fullt
Another game, a long day, a job well done, and a final work call. We're your place. Come as you are, and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mice, eat locally, enjoy casual.
At the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
it's a gold line.
it's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
It has happened where people just haven't noticed and they've run out of time. I'm like, sounds good. Oh, overcooked it a bit.
Close. Last drop.
Yep.
8th in.
Close.
The tie
Yep.
to Isabel Brano.
music between draws all week. You want to head on over there and have some fun. But this morning, we're here for curling. We've got the best curling teams in the world here this week. So let's meet those playing here in Draw 2. Starting on Sheet A. First up, throwing the Red Rocks, curling out of Sundbyberg, Sweden, Team Hasselborg. Their opponents throwing the Yellow Rocks, curling out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, Team Live. Head over to Sheet B. First up, throwing the Yellow Rocks, curling out of Kitami, Japan, Team Fujisawa. Their opponents throwing the Red Rocks, curling out of Zurich, Switzerland, Team Zinyaschua. And over on Sheet C, first up, throwing the Yellow Rocks, curling out of Bujangbu, Korea, Team Gil. Their opponents throwing the Red Rocks, curling out of Sapporo, Japan, Team Yoshimura. And on Sheet D, first up, throwing the Yellow Rocks, curling out of Aarau, Switzerland, Team Tirinzone. Their opponents throwing the Red Rocks, curling out of Sapporo, Japan, Team Tabata. We invite you to be as loud as you want, but please, no flash photography. Games will begin momentarily. Good luck to all, and good curling.
We are live from the Mary Brown Center, St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada, for the Coyote National, the third leg of the Grand Slam of Curling Tour this season, 2024-2025. Our feature matchup today, Team Hasselborg taking on Team Laws. For Team Hasselborg, we have Skip Anna Hasselborg, third Sarah McManus, second Agnes Knockenhauer, and lead Sophia Maberg. And for Team Laws, Skip Caitlin Laws, third Selena Negavan, second Becca Hebert, lead Kristen McCush. Tyler George here shortly to be joined by Robbie Doherty. You may have heard Robbie doing his MC work, announcing all the teams' names to get things going, but we are set for the first stone. Team Laws, by virtue of winning last shot draw, will have hammer in the first end. Is actually Team Laws starting things off for us here. In-turn draw to get things going here from Kush. Right to the top of the 8-foot. Team Hasselborg. Sophia Mabergs, the out-turn hit. Conservative start here for Team Hasselborg. Rolls off the paint. McCush will follow with in-turn draw once again. For Team Law's 6 events this season already. Semi-finalists at the Tour Challenge did not qualify at the Canadian Open Slam. Made the semis in the Saville Grand Prix, the Saville Shootout, and the PointsBet Invitational. Corner guard now for Sophia Malbergs. For Team Hasselborg, 6 events this season. Champions at the Oslo Cup and the Swedish Euro Qualifier. Runners-up at the Basel Masters and the Sundbyberg Open. And qualified at the Stu Sells Toronto Tanker. As expected here, it is Jocelyn Peterman playing second stones for Team Laws. Full lineup back in play for Laws. Makeshift lineup at the previous slam with Caitlin giving birth. Congratulations, her and family. And just skates into the top of the 12-foot. There's my faithful partner racing up from his much more important MC duties for the event. Rob Doherty, welcome to the booth, my friend.
Tyler, it's good to be here, especially beside somebody with the pedigree of yourself.
Oh, right out of the gates, just pumping my tires.
I was excited to be here. You and I go way back, played some fun events together, had some fun over the years, so looking forward to it.
Yeah, we've done a couple of the fun ones. The charity events do tend to be the fun ones.
Speaking of fun, St. John's already off to a hot start here at the Mary Brown Center. Capacity crowd this morning, almost 1,500 in the building, which is terrific for an 8 a.m. draw on a Tuesday morning. So, living in Atlanta, Canada, Tyler, I've had the chance to chat to a lot of curling fans in the region. A lot of them plan to make the trip over and take this in, and they sure showed up.
Yeah, it's fairly common, Robbie, during the week to have a relatively empty arena for events for daytime working days. But, I mean, we all have our own jobs and everything too, but man, people are showing up droves already during the daytime draws. The weekdays, it's going to be a madhouse for this week.
Excitement certainly in the air around the city as I rolled in Sunday and kind of got to tour around a little bit, check out some restaurants and pubs. There's definitely some curling spirit in the air. There's a peel from Agnes Knockenhauer. These teams no stranger to each other over the years, Tyler. Team Hasselborg, though, seems to have Caitlin's number over the years, 7-1 head-to-head matchups. So,
that's a significant number, too, because both teams are well aware of that number. When somebody has had your number consistently over the years, you always kind of feel like you're up against it when you take the ice against them. And on the flip side, when you've beaten a team a certain number of times, you're very confident playing against them. And it really doesn't matter what the tournament is. Just you have that type of record against somebody, you're always going to feel good taking the ice against them.
Selena Negevin, third stone for Team Laws, putting up a center guard. Seemed to be in control thus far in this end, Tyler, early on.
Yeah, started off a little conservative, but that draw from McCush going to the back of the 8-foot allowed Hasselborg to go to a corner guard, so it looked like they were going to be in control of the end, and things have definitely flipped here now with 2 centers and a rock in the back of the 8. So it's cleanup time for McManus.
Man, certainly a Certainly a quality hitter, always has been on the scene here. And there's a great shot from Sarah McManus, getting rid of 2 yellows. She want to leave that red one up there, though, Tyler?
Yeah, it was probably a little bit of a mistake. The 2 they were trying to clear were the guards, the biter and the higher guard. But they did remove the backstone as well.
A quality hitter,
if that
always
ends up
has
just
been
dead sticking
on the
to
scene
the
here.
back,
There's a great shot.
And that's a really poor result for Team Hasselborg. But they do lose 2. Still 2 guards in play, so good opportunity for Team Laws to go underneath again.
There's a chance for Team Laws once again to apply some pressure. They're looking to come right around here.
Yeah, they'd like to get this right to the top of the 4-foot. 2 guards to go behind. They overbury. There's a short run, yellow to yellow, but it's both of your opponent's stones. This really needs to go to get paint. Stops just short, so now opportunity for Hasselborg if they choose to go around. Witnessed firsthand last week, Robbie, this team from Sweden, runner-up in the European Championships. Very quick turnaround for them and for a lot of teams in this event. With the flights over from Finland, I can attest that the time zones are quite different. And for those of us that are talking curling, and not out there playing.
Quite different. At least you're coming to this side of the country if you're coming from Europe and not having to fly the other.
Well, some of us went all the way back home and then back out again for a 2.5-hour difference there. So, in our infinite wisdom.
That's code word for wake you up if I see your head go down in the count.
Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good.
There's Sarah McManus now trying to clean house for Team Hasselborg. Quite hit that where they were hoping for.
Just gets the 1, so don't know if I agree with the call playing the run there too that late in the end. It's very difficult to not leave Laws some kind of come around draw anyways. I don't think all 3 and the shooter were ever going, so you may as well just beat your opponent in. Even though I know you're not happy with the 2 short of the house being yellow.
Is that a respect thing, Tyler, for the opponent's hitting ability? Like, you have the chance to come in, but they did see those 2 yellows out there. Is that just them saying, you know what, Team Laws can certainly hit and didn't want to leave them that run back? Or?
I think this is the first end of the competition thing. We don't want to get ourselves in too much trouble, right? Because we don't have the conditions very well, so if we throw it hard, we're taking the ice out of it. But really, you're always leaving your opponent a draw, playing the shot that they did, and it's almost always going to be underneath one of your own stones, too. So, yeah, I would have liked to see them just try to beat them in and play for the 2 or 3 themselves.
Here's Caitlin Laws with her first. Without the hammer. Looking to get buried here in the 4-foot.
A really good line. Just needs to finish a little bit. Not much finish there either. It's a tight guard, but didn't quite completely bury and only cleared by maybe 3-4 inches.
Team Laws lying 1 in the 4-foot. Buried. Hasselborg looks like they're going to try to run that straight back. Got to be happy, Tyler, if you're Team Laws in this opening end. Mentioned 7-1 head-to-head record, Team Hasselborg leading Team Laws. So to get into this, that's got to be a small win early on, correct?
All the more reason for them to play aggressive early, too, if you feel like you have a team's number. But decent opportunity here for Hasselborg playing the run. Again, could be their stone in there if they like to play the draw, but instead running yellow-yellow in the first end.
Anna Hasselborg, her first. Off. Will she get some action? Won't get the second yellow to go, but still a great effort from Anna and opens things up with her first in the first end.
Yeah, they were hoping to get a little better action off of the other guard and maybe get all three. A good result nonetheless. A little unlucky for it to just dead stick on top of the button. But no guards in play now, so that makes Laws' guard much tougher to place. You don't have a second one helping guide the stone that you're throwing. So they're just going to try to throw this to probably a biter somewhere in there, maybe just short. It all depends, Robbie, on what they want Hasselborg to play. If they want her to play something soft, try to bump the rock or even out-count it, then you throw this as mid-tight guard. If you want her playing the double, you throw a biter. With where that rock is, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they throw this 3-4 feet short of the range and challenge Hasselborg to play either a longer run or a very finesse shot around that guard.
Caitlin Laws, her last stone here in the first end, looking to guard the rock, top of the button. Sweepers seem to like it. Want to split center here, Tyler?
Yeah, just where we thought, Robbie. Just splitting center, but maybe 5 feet out, so maybe a hair higher than what they would have liked. But now it's a tester for Hasselborg in the first end, trying to move this rock enough to get shot.
Do you think there's enough curl there, Tyler, to make this, to get to the nose and tap it as far as you need to with the weight?
Based on what we saw with the draw that Laws through to get shots, it really doesn't finish a ton, and you have to play enough weight to move it off the butt. I think it does, but you have to get very close to the guard to make this based on the amount of curl we saw.
First end, 0-0, Hasselborg with the hammer. Looking to tap this back, move it outside of the 4-foot for one. Good shot early on. This experienced skip from Sweden. Final stone. Sweepers seem to like the weight so far.
It's got a little ways to go to curl.
You see Agnes Knockenhauer trying to make it move, curling on the inside, trying to carve it over. Is it gonna get there? Not sure if it has the weight. Will it move it far enough? Don't think so. It's a steal of one in the first end here for team Caitlin Laws. Caitlin Laws, first event back after giving birth to her new baby Ella just 3 weeks ago. So good for her. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with second end action coming up after this.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casual.
Welcome back here to the Mary Brown Center in beautiful St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, home of the Coyote National, our third stop this season on the Grand Slam of Curling. Pretty entertaining first end. Team Laws, the big steal, Tyler. Hasselborg had a chance for a tap back, couldn't quite make it.
Yeah, and kind of flipped on its head after the draw went to the back of the 8-foot by Kristen McCush with her second stone in the first. And Laws initially was looking like they were just going to hit the end out. And ended up throwing a corner, which I agree with, but just didn't execute. The middle shots ended up having a chase. And a couple really good shots finishing off the end from Caitlin Laws, the come around draw and then replacing the guard. Again, with maybe not as much curl as we're going to see later in the week. So the correct shot, throwing that center guard and forcing Hasselborg to play a very difficult tap against a single point. Comes up short. Laws does get the steal.
Tyler, you've been around this game for a long time. You've won national championships, Olympic gold. You've really done it all. Team Hasselborg, they took the last slam event off in Miscue, and that was to rest up for the Europeans. Do you think that, do you agree with that suggestion, that idea to rest up a little bit to get ready for the Europeans and then jump back into this? Or are you someone who likes to keep going, keep the momentum?
I think the break is probably a good thing. I mean, they had a great result at the Euros, obviously finishing second. It's all team to team with that type of thing, but this particular stretch of time where it goes Grand Slam, then the Europeans, and then another slam immediately afterwards is a really tough stretch, and there are multiple teams in this field that are playing all 3 events. So really you just have to look at your team and say, are we better if we're keeping a rhythm, or are we better getting a break in? With that quick turnaround, again, coming back, they knew they were going to be going back-to-back with an overseas event, and the Europeans is your world qualifier and a major event for those teams too. So the slams, obviously you don't want to miss any if possible, but I'm sure they looked at their points too and saw we're still going to be in each of these slams even if we skip one. And for them, if that's the decision they made, then it's the right one. For another team that's doing something different, it's the right one too, but there's no right or wrong. Again, for myself, if we were playing, I think taking that time off is probably a good thing.
A little miscue from Sophia Mabergs there for Team Hasselborg. Pushing that in the rings, still leaving a guard that's just off center, but still usable for Team Laws. Would they look at coming around here or guard it up?
You're sitting 2 already, and anything on that draw path is going to make it a tough chase for Team Hasselborg. I think they're probably going guard here.
Jocelyn Peterman, second stone for Team Laws. See them trying to keep it straight. That's going to stop just short of the rings.
A pretty good spot. You're still keeping Hasselborg chasing now, playing Peel to try to move both of these guards off.
I gave them the same.
They're looking for a straight double peel here, Tyler. Or do they want to try and keep the shooter perhaps for a second corner guard?
If you make the double peel, there's a pretty good chance that the shooter's staying too. So ideally, you're losing both and shooter stays. Main thing is that both guards go. You still have a corner, but it's a little bit of trouble right now. Yeah, the Angles play really well to accomplish both.
Agnes Knockenhauer, second stone for Team Hasselborg, looking to clean the middle up here. Trying to keep it straight, gonna make contact. Where's the red one gonna go? It's gonna spill into the 12-foot, and they'll lie third shot.
Was that any good from Agnes? It didn't overthrow it, gets the red guard to spill in and keeps the shooter for a second corner guard as well. So we're doing the old scoring system, Robbie. That's one of those 5 out of 4s, I think.
Team Laws laying 2 and throwing. Jocelyn Peterman just threw a guard, so you know she's going to be close here with her weight on this.
Tight! Top 12!
Is this more of a line shot, Tyler, or is it more important to have it outside the rings?
Well, you're hearing top 12, top 8 sweepers, and that's going to allow Hasselborg to hit again, as opposed to playing a run back or a peel. This is coming almost all the way down to that stone, so that's a break for Team Hasselborg. It's possible all 3 yellows go. Anna's lining up the angles, but even just getting the top 2, obviously getting yourself out of trouble where it was looking like you're going to be chasing the entire end.
So here's a chance for Knockenhauer once again to throw some heat down the middle, move some yellow stones. Team Laws lays 3. We do see that red stone out in the side of the 12-foot behind cover, so a chance for Team Hasselborg here to start building a multiple point end. Knockenhauer has been around the game for a long time and certainly known for her hitting abilities.
Agnes would really like to keep the shooter here too and not leave the double back.
There's the contact on the third one, gonna spill far enough. I don't think to lie, number 3.
It looks like they're first and third, but that's still a very good result, obviously. Clears up the middle. Now takes the game to the edges, as if Laws is going to make the double. The center will be wide open. And even if they roll underneath, that's the same thing.
No chance for Team Laws to lie 2. Selena Negevin, third stone. This team from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Kristen Gordon trying to keep it straight. That's going to roll to the side. They're going to lie 2, and a nice result from Team Laws.
I guess we can call her Gordon now, too, for Robbie's sake. Her husband, Robbie, not the one sitting next to me in the booth here. Hi, Rob. I know you're watching at home. You better be, at least.
My wife is also watching at home, so thank you for clearing that up, Tyler.
You're welcome.
Surprise. Sarah McManus, Team Hasselborg. What's she looking to do here, Tyler? Perhaps doesn't look like there's a double. Too flat, perhaps, trying to roll over.
I think you're just taking the short roll under cover and sitting probably second and third, but the option otherwise you could roll all the way opposite side of the house, which is a long ways to go. But if you get 2 under cover, then at least you're putting some pressure on your opponent.
There's a chance trying to get the roll behind the corner guard. It's at least partially buried, but still a little bit open for Team Laws if they want to make a play on it. How important, Tyler, is it at this level for perhaps those who don't watch as much as others or follow the Grand Slams as close if they're tuned in? How important is it on these surfaces with so much curl to make sure that those guards aren't too high?
Yeah, the depth of the guards is huge in any tournament where you're getting a lot of curl. Slams, we always expect to see a lot. Maybe not as much early in this tournament, obviously. First couple of draws we expect to see later on. But yeah, the higher it is, the easier it is to dig a rock out, and the less scoring space you have.
Double attempt from Selena Negevin. Going to push it far enough. Laws lies 2. A pretty good result.
That's a very good result. You're still sitting 2, and it looks as though it's very close for the possible double to jam on that red stone. So I think Anna's just going to try to roll this over in the area of the other yellow and playing the in-turn from McManus into the stone, so it'll kick a little more backwards as well.
McManus, her second stone here in the second end.
Really trying to make sure they miss their own red stone on the side of the rings.
This one rolling, looking to roll it right across, make contact with the yellow, they will.
And shot rock, was that good? What a shot from McManus. To get shot, be in front of the yellow stone, it possibly brings 3 back into play in one fell swoop. Don't know that Laws has much choice but to play the draw.
Going back to our discussion before the last rock with the depth of those guards, and you got to be pretty precise with this, Tyler.
You need to almost touch 8 foot to be shot.
There you see the view, the shooter on the right side, that red rock on top of the yellow. That was Anna's shooter that rolled over, made contact with the yellow, but stayed frozen too. What a great result for Team Hasselborg, and certainly shakes the thinking up for Team Laws here.
It's not a very big spot. You can throw this and get shot and not have it be accessible for Hasselborg.
Yeah, I like it. You got it.
So Team Hasselborg lying 1 here. As we head into Skip Rocks, the second end. Caitlin Laws, her first. What's the perfect spot for this to stop, Tyler? Top 8, somewhere half in the 8 foot?
Yeah, just a little above the red stone on the top of the 12 too, so it plays into a jam if you can. If you can, even if you bury, they probably could still dig it out. So You like to be able to use that red stone as a catcher. But yeah, there's not much space here for balls to throw this and get a good result.
First skip stones here in the second end. Caitlin Laws looking to draw behind the corner guard. Hide somewhere. Shot rock.
A lot of room to curl still here.
Haven't seen this spot yet, Tyler. One would assume it would get some big late movement there. It seems to be curling now, but perhaps not what they were thinking. Gonna slide a little deep, stay above the tee. No, it's gonna slide just deep. But Team Laws lies one.
They got some underneath, but a lot of space between the guard and the rocks. So Hasselborg would love to hit this with maybe a solid hack to board and roll center. Don't want to be nosed here. That's actually your, besides a flash, would be your worst case scenario, as that leaves the freeze back for Laws. So they definitely want to roll towards the middle on this hit.
And if you're Caitlin Laws, if they do make the roll to the middle, you're basically forced to hit the open one and
try to roll again, I guess, but yeah, you're almost in conceding 3 mode here if Hasselborg's able to hit this and roll middle.
Anna Hasselborg.
Yeah, like it tracks for a while and then really...
Second time we've seen her on the Grand Slam of curling this season. Saw her at the Hearing Life Tour Challenge in Charlottetown. Elected to take the week off at the Co-op Canadian Open in Nisku, but she's back here in St. John's. Here's her first in the second end, looking to make contact with the yellow on the side of the 8-foot. Stick around to lie 2.
The line looks good here, easily by the guard. And it's just a matter where the shooter ends up.
This one's going to roll to the middle, not as far as perhaps they had thought. Nonetheless, Team Hasselborg line 2.
A very conservative sweep call there. They definitely could have got on that earlier and rolled back middle.
I was going to ask Tyler, did they want, would it have been more beneficial for them to roll bigger, get right to the center line, somewhere in the back 8, back 4?
Yeah, this is a very short roll to get under cover. Now, it's still not a lot of space for Laws to go to get a good result. They can't get high enough in the house to use the red as a catcher either. But because they're still able to trade hits and not leave a double back, as long as this is still shot, then they're just looking at giving up a 2. Don't think Hasselborg will ever take on the cross-house double, but again, as we talked about, staying away from 3 now by still staying at least second count.
Laws with her last stone here in the second end. Leading by 1. Trying to get an inside roll. They won't get it. That's going to stay on the nose. So a chance for 2 for Team Hasselborg.
Yeah, they did the important thing on both shots, though, to make sure they stuck around and keep that 3 out of play. So now it's just a very similar shot to what Hasselborg just threw to get their 2. This all goes back to McManus's great hit and roll all the way across house. That stone is going to end up being a counter if this is made.
Certainly helps. They just threw this spot as well. They know the spot. Shouldn't be any surprises for them.
Pretty similar track. Should be no issue for Anna here.
Final stone, second end. Anna Hasselborg looking to hit and stay in the 8-foot for 2 points. Take the lead back. Sweepers are on this one early, trying to keep it straight. Knockenhauer seems to be moving more. Can they hold it? Can they hold it? Need to stay in the 8-foot. Will they? They will. And it's a deuce for Team Hasselborg, putting 2 on the board here to take a 2-1 lead. It's draw 2 from the Coyote National here on the Grand Slam of Curling, live from St. John's. We'll be back.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
The Mary Brown Center, St. John's, Newfoundland, and Labrador playing host here to the Coyote National, our third event of the season on the Grand Slam of Curling. Robbie Doherty alongside Tyler George, bringing you all the action as always. 2-1, Team Hasselborg leading Team Laws. Laws will have the hammer here in the third end. Pretty entertaining start thus far, Tyler, both teams. Certainly not backing down, making some shots. A couple of small errors that cost Laws in that last one, but a nice shot by McManus to kind of set that deuce up.
Yeah, it wasn't really much that Laws did as much as it was McManus's great roll all the way across, missing the backing and setting up that two. From the moment that rock came to a stop, it pretty much was lined up for a minimum of two for Hasselborg the entire way through the rest of the end.
Kirsten Gordon, the lead for Team Laws. Certainly been one of the most steady leads in the game. I'm trying to get to the top four, Tyler.
I don't think it's going to quite carry that far, but it'll be shot rock top 8. Not a bad spot. The good thing with having shot that high, it'll be interesting to see what they do, is if Hasselborg was to play the freeze, then you can just draw open side, sit 2, without having to bunch up the middle. But this is a shot, Robbie, that we've seen more in the last couple of years on tour with when the guard is tight enough and the come-around draw is high, they play the short run on the guard on the second shot. So you have to have confidence in your lead to play that shot, as this is the exact reason why it's a bit of a risk. If that run isn't made, now you've lost your center guard that you threw up to start the end, and it's rolled to a corner. So now for Laws, they have a rock in the house and they have a corner guard they can use too. So you really need to trust that your lead's going to be precise with that short run to play it, or you're behind the 8 ball starting off the end automatically. That's what we're seeing now.
So chance to lie 2 here for Team Laws. Great crowd on hand here in St. John's taking this one in.
It sounds as though most of the fans have decided, I'm buying the week pass this week and just have access for the entire time, because you may see some empty seats periodically in the arena, but basically all the seats are just about sold anyways, limited amount available. This one coasting, but still biting the back of the 12-foot just in time.
Certainly record-breaking ticket sales here for this event. Great support as always from St. John's. Curling is certainly one of the favorites around here. You ask any local around the past couple days, I've been chatting just to restaurant owners and sort of people in the hospitality industry, and they know what magnitude this event is. They're excited to be here. It's great for the community, and St. John's has certainly proven they are true curling fans thus far. We've been welcomed with open arms. As expected, here's a double takeout opportunity. That one just jamming in the back. The Laws still lies 1.
That just sticks on the back. A little unfortunate there for Team Hasselborg playing the slash, and that will allow Team Laws to try to get underneath that corner guard. They're not really looking to make that back rock score, Robbie, as much as they'd love to get this one buried. Could be there for a while underneath the corner guard if they do, and a good opportunity to maybe split the rings later on too.
This one looks like it's not quite gonna make it. Does it have the speed? They're working on it, trying to get by that corner guard. Not a lot of room. Will they get it by? Just ticks Won't spill into the ring, so there's a break for Team Hasselborg once again.
An easy decision now to hit the open one in the back of the house. That yellow rock could still be useful for Team Laws to tap up if they do get a rollout at some point.
Mavericks trying to keep this straight. Trying to roll to the center line, they'll do so, and Hasselborg lies one.
It's still not a bad setup for Laws. There's no danger whatsoever here with Hammer.
Jocelyn Peterman. Second rock here in the third end. Trying to hit it on the nose. It looks like it's curling. Trying to keep it straight. Look, Kristen Gordon's gonna get a piece, but boy, that took off in a hurry. Hasselborg not gonna be fooled by those corner guards, Tyler. She's gonna peel and.
Yeah, nothing to gain here for Anna. Going underneath can only get you in trouble. The only time you would draw under these in this situation is if it's the final stone of the end, where you're just trying to get a force. So they're happy with just hitting this out. Very likely a blank, but Robbie, we have to say now in the booth, very likely a blank. True. It's not a guarantee. We wielded a heavy sword up here with the ability to jinx things, so you have to be very careful.
Keep that in mind. Certainly a wonderful opportunity for Team Laws to keep the blank in play here. How's that?
That's very good. Playing out for a blank attempt on the final shot.
Some Vince McMahon language. So Selena Negovin.
Get your pro wrestling reference counters out now to start the week.
Sweeper's also working on this one to get it in the rings. Will they get it there? Yes, they will. Laws lays one.
In the outside of the sheet here too, Robbie, probably not a track they played in pre-game, probably not a track they played in this game yet. So you want to keep the weight solid, take the ice out of it, don't take any chances with catching a fresh path or some frost. Team Hasselborg knows that. They make no mistake there. It does roll out, but main goal accomplished. There's not a ton of difference at this point in the end in sticking around or rolling out with these open hits.
Negovin once again. Wants to draw to the rings. I think they're going to go to the other side this time. Is that on purpose, Tyler? Do they do that to try and change the shot up?
Hey, if you can show your opponent different tracks, keep them off of something they've already seen, that's already a good thing.
We saw Kristen earlier on in this end, a little heavy in this spot. Looks like they made the adjustment well. It's going to stop just above the tee line. Laws lies one.
Not uncommon to see this now either, with Hasselborg already at the other end in the hack. Bank some time for later in the game. She trusts McManus to put down the broom for an open hit.
First one was like, oh god, this is like Anna's sideways. Oh my god.
Anna Hasselborg, her first here in the third end. Trying to hit and stick on the nose. It looks like it's not going to curl up. Will it hang on? Ooh, looks like it just spun out.
We've been fooled by the overheads enough times. We'll have to trust the players.
I'm still young, Tyler. I've got my vision.
Don't trust the overhead view on this.
It certainly appears to be out, but it looks like Laws don't take any chances here. You ever been fooled on that before, Tyler, as a player?
Not during the game that I can remember. Like if I'm playing. Sitting up here many times. I'm very good with measurement calls, which stone is closer. But it's very difficult to tell. If you've watched curling on television over the years, it's the same thing. You know, that overhead cam, just very hard to tell when rocks are actually on the paint or not. So we always wait with these and just trust the player read.
Caitlin Laws. Her first here in the third. Trying to stick around here.
You heard firm the call again. They're running really straight in the outside of the sheet right now. Everything we've seen in the outside has ended up on the wide side.
Lägg den bredvid den där så kan man spela med andra handen. Vad sa du?
And Hasselborg trying to make the draw. Is there any way she could be a little creative on this, Tyler, and maybe somehow use that yellow rock to just get a nibbler and maybe be corner frozen to that?
She's going to try to get in that area. So you never know. If you get a biter that's just barely above it, it's not a bad spot. But if you roll, or sorry, if you draw right next to it, even full in the 12-foot, it cuts off the roll out for the blank. So you'd have to roll all the way across the house to the opposite side. And that's where they're putting the broom right now for where they're trying to have the rock stop. So they want this almost dead even with that yellow stone, if not just a hair higher. That will make Laws draw all the way to the opposite side. Sorry, roll out all the way to the opposite side. Looks like it's stopped just soon enough that, yeah, that short roll is too dangerous with the yellow off the ring. So Caitlin's going to have to hit this on the high side of the stone and roll 10 feet across the house. So good result there for Hasselborg. And well thought out play that. You heard on the previous shot, Laws was trying to roll the shooter off the house or off the sheet completely once it wasn't going to be in the house for this very reason.
Shows you the level these teams are at. The difference of half a foot makes the blank attempt so much tougher for Caitlin Laws. Nonetheless, final stone, third end. Caitlin Laws looking for the blank. Trying to keep this one straight. Looks like they're going to make contact. Will it roll out? Peterman trying to sweep it right out of the rings. She's going to do so. Mission accomplished for Team Laws. They trail 2-1 to Team Hasselborg, but they'll have the hammer in the fourth end. That's just after the break.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mice, eat locally, enjoy casual.
Coyote National here in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador at the beautiful Mary Brown Center, playing host to this great event. The entertaining game thus far here between Team Hasselborg and Team Laws. Hasselborg with the lead, but Laws has the hammer in the fourth end. Tyler, as a player, how important is it to have the hammer in the even ends versus the odd ends, and how does that come into their strategy?
It's not something you really think about until the second half of the game, usually. I mean, it starts to enter your mind maybe in the fourth end of an 8-end game, but really you're just still playing position at this point. And the first time you really start to take it into consideration for an 8-end game for most teams is the 5th, where you're thinking, you know, if the score is tied, you're looking at a 0 or 2 and trying to either blank and take hammer to the 6th. So you got a 3-end game basically, then you get hammered twice, or the 2-point lead with 3 ends to play gives you a big advantage. So at this point, it's probably still just regular old first half curling end, or it should be. But if you happen to get the steal or score a 2 for either team here, then you feel like you're at least set up for the second half for odd end. But far more important just to play this end out like a normal end, and then you start taking that more seriously once you get to the second half, obviously depending on the score as well.
The Mabergs going to make the freeze. That's going to stop the second shot in the top 8. Still Laws lying 1.
Laws' team this season, despite the roster jumbling with the pregnancy, still ranked number 10 in the world, number 10 year to date. Again, 6 events played this season. They've been, I would call, the average amount of busy for a team. We've seen some playing already double-digit events this season.
Chatting with Pierre Charette this morning, he was telling me Team Tabata here from Japan, they just played their 71st game of the season. November.
I can't. I got tired just hearing that number.
That's a lot of curling. But it's certainly paying off for them. That team, young team, very sharp, making their second Grand Slam appearance here this week in St. John's. Saw them in Nisku. Certainly some close games there. A lot of good things happening in Japan for curling. Certainly some great teams coming up, and you got to know there's some we haven't seen before yet on the Grand Slams, but it's just a matter of time before we'll see more in the field on a regular basis. Knockenhauer. Just trying to get to the back one, Tyler.
In the freeze, trying to go around their stone on the top of the 8-foot. See a little more curl on that path now. That's really well done by Aggie. Locks it on.
Hasselborg lies 1. Peterman looking to move some granite around here. A chance to send that red one straight back. Potential to get 2.
Like to unlock it at least if they can, but just playing the peel for the time being. So that's going to wait till later in the end. Angles are playing well for Team Hasselborg here with where these rocks are at, so they're going to be content just to continue to guard for the time being. And guarding the rock in the top of the 8-foot, they're not nearly as concerned about showing a piece on shot rock, as there's nothing that Laws can do to move that rock out of count as long as the rock in the top of the 8 is covered.
Knockenhauer's been terrific thus far this morning. On her draw is very precise. Hasselborg coming off a big week in Finland at the European Championships, taking home a silver medal. Losing the final to Tirinzoni. Looks like it's going to stop in front of shot rock, so the guard is up. Hasselborg still lies 1.
Well, they think maybe they can get all 3 of these reds moving now, the way the angles are set up. Other option would be just to hit the rock in the top of the 8 and roll away. If they can get them all moving now, it'd be a really good result.
Jocelyn Peterman. Red Deer, Alberta. To make this one curl, is going to make contact with the red. It's going to go over the top. Still Hasselborg, Lion 1. And throwing.
Little missed opportunity there for Laws, as they really needed to move that rock in the eights too. So now Hasselborg can replace it with a better guard, and one that doesn't play into an angled slash and have the shooter go off too.
Saw Team Laws in Nisku, Alberta, with Becca Hebert filling in. Strong event from them.
You guys really got to get more consistent with your Heberts and A-Bears up here north of the border. It's just a complete guess all the time which one it is. Although I guess with curlers, for the most part, it's Hebert.
I live in the land of Gallants, so
also true.
I know all about it. He's going to over curl a bit, perhaps. Top red is exposed. It's still shot rock for Team Hasselborg.
Yeah, that's a poor result there for Hasselborg. Now a pretty open double. You're probably losing your back yellow, but can sit two.
Selena Negovin trying to move some red rocks around in the house. This was going to be close to unlocking the back. They're going to make the double. And Laws lays two. A big shot from Selena Negovin.
That's an opportunity you need to take advantage of. You get that mistake, the unforced error from Team Hasselborg, and leaves the double open. And really, Robbie, if they were able to continue to guard that rock in the top of the eights the rest of the end, it was going to take Laws 2 shots to move that back stone and try to get it out of count. Now they're able to do it with 1 and lose both stones and sit 2.
Trying to make 2 yellows go away. McManus is going to respond. Anything you can do, I can do better. So 2 doubles in a row from both of these third stones, the respective teams. Sarah McManus certainly been precise with her hits today, Tyler.
Very early on in the competition, but Sarah's made a couple of dandies. Wants to set up a 2, and now to try to avoid 1 without hammer.
Trying to make this curl stick around. Looks like they're going to hit half a stone. Will it hang on to the rings? It's trickling out. Sarah McManus trying to remove it. She does. So once again, another opportunity for Hasselborg.
It's not quiet.
And no question about what the shot is here, Robbie. Just discussing the line a little bit, the speed, and how deep they want this to go. And ideally, with the depth of that guard, you're only probably looking at biting top 4s, maybe a little bit deeper. But anything T or better, Laws will be able to follow. You also don't want it stopping top 12, as then you're leaving the come around draw on the stone in the house. So top 8 to top 4 is your range that you're throwing this to.
So the first to skip stones here in 4. Anna Hasselborg looking to get buried, take away the opportunity for Team Laws to blank. That was my wording there.
Opportunity.
Hockenhauer on this one right out of the skipper's hand. Need to go here, trying to get it into the rings and buried. Big sweep here from these 2 front-end players trying to get it buried. They will. It's going to stop top 8 foot. Hasselborg shot rock.
Yep, good spot there. Just showing a little on the outside. Probably will force Laws to draw.
Caitlin Laws looking to sneak in somewhere. Behind cover, gets shot rock. Some pressure on Anna Hasselborg with her last. A big chance for Team Hasselborg here. Or for Team Laws.
Kate would really like to get as much of this buried as possible, but doesn't want to be behind the tee line either. Allow Team Hasselborg to follow with a freeze. So top side of button, burying as much as you can is the ideal spot.
Top fork. Balls for line.
Caitlin Laws, her first. Here in the fourth end.
Line's good. Line's good. Line's good. Straight.
Trying to keep it straight.
Line's good. Hey, line. Line.
Trying to get it by. They'll get by that one in the top 8. When they get shot rock, they will. That's in the 4-foot. Almost buried. And a big shot from Caitlin Laws. Here to set up a potential 2 points.
That's really good stuff from Kate there. Barely gets by the stone on the top of the 8-foot, but almost completely buried. Hasselborg has just the smallest piece if they'd like to try to pick it. They do have a little bit of the red stone on the outside of the 8-foot too, if they wanted to come around and play that tap. But Anna thinks she has enough. She can just pick this stone. And you see the broom that she's taken, Robbie, she's probably throwing control, maybe solid board. So you're really going to need some good action. Hope the striking bands are as live as we're used to seeing for these events to get that rock to get out of the 8-foot. You don't need to clear it all the way out of the house, but need to get enough to move it out of the 8s. Very difficult shot.
Anna Hasselborg's last stone here in the fourth end. Looking to eliminate yellow in the top 4-foot. Looks like they're close. Trying to keep it straight. As we've seen some late movement in this spot. Knockenhauer trying to keep it straight. When they get by the red in the top 8, they will. And enough to push it out the back. The shooter going to hang on. Is it going to hang on? It does. Full 12. So what a shot from Anna. Big response from a great draw from Caitlin Laws, forcing her to draw for a single.
Can't do it any better than that. Hasselborg actually still manages to keep the shooter in the house and lose the Yellowstone. Very little spot on the rock you could hit to make that the way that she did. Forces the draw now against 2.
Last stone here in the fourth end. Caitlin Laws facing 2. Needs to be fighting 4-foot for her single point. Big point on the line here. Sweepers on this one early.
Yeah, this has really got to go.
Really looking light. Sweepers working on it. Selena Negevin out of the house, going to help. Not going to be in time. So a big steal of 2 for Team Hasselborg. A well-played end from both teams. But nonetheless, it's 2 more on the board for this team from Sundbyberg, Sweden. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more action in the 5th end from St. John's.
This is the Cornwall Curling Club. It's my home club. I started curling here when I was 7 years old. I decided to stick with curling because I really enjoyed the small team environment. I curled with the same girls from the time I was 9, basically until the end of juniors. So getting to form those friendships with my teammates was really special to me.
I started curling because of my grandparents, and both my parents curled and my brother, so it was just like a whole family thing. And when you walk into the curling club in Truro, Nova Scotia, and everyone greets you, and it's such a warm environment, and it's fun. After school, we'd go, and all of our friends would be there, so it was just like such a fun environment. And I got to curl with some of my closest friends growing up, so it really helped me keep in the game, and we all had the same goals.
I know what curling has done for our family, the opportunities it provided for both my girls. Nationally, you know, we've got to see travel the world. It's just a great sport. It's a small community. People, you know, at all levels, everybody knows each other. That's what, it's kind of a unique sport that way.
It's a sport that enables him to build his confidence and to make friends while doing something that he really enjoys.
Right now, at the age that they're at, it's just awesome to see when they come here and they see their friends at the curling club and the stuff they do off the ice too, and smiles and hanging out and just enjoying their time with friends.
Both teams in the first half, Tyler.
And nothing unexpected for the first game of a long week. Both teams just trying to get the ice down, get the conditions. Don Landsteiner, it's always faster at the break. As that one goes just to the back of the forefoot.
Brock was Steinerized.
It's been a running joke for well as long as Steiner and I played together through now. Always reminding him at the break that it's going to be faster. He obviously knew it, but I'd remind him anyways.
John's such a tough guy to get along with.
Yeah. That's why you got to needle him a little bit. Keep him in line. Law's going right to the corner, trying to set up a 2 now after that. Steal a 2 by Hasselborg. And Robbie, that's something that we see sometimes with a skip or any player having a very precise draw on one shot and throwing it exactly basically to the spot they were trying to, and then a fairly wide open one on the next one where you have a big area to throw it to. And sometimes your brain isn't focused in on the exact spot and you're just thinking draw the rings or draw the 8-foot as opposed to put this right on the button. And if you're not thinking in those types of specifics, that's where misses like that can come from.
It's a great point, Tyler. For any young players at home, how is that something you work on? Is that just an experience thing, or is it something you can kind of do in practice to prepare yourself for those situations?
You want it to become reflex that you're throwing to a very specific spot regardless of the shot. If it's a guard, if it's a draw to the house, Caitlin just needed to hit basically full 8-foot, maybe a little better than that on that shot. She'd just drawn top 4s buried to a perfect spot on her first. And yeah, sometimes it's just a little lack of focus with not trying to be absolutely precise again. But it could be any number of reasons why it came up that far short. But that's a common one, definitely, where you're not dead on locked to one spot. You're just thinking, I have 6 feet to throw this to, and that's what I'm doing.
Caitlin, her first event back here, giving birth to brand new baby Ella just 3 weeks ago. Big welcome back to Caitlin. We saw her in Charlottetown at the Hearing Life Tour Challenge, and it was impressive to see someone that far along in pregnancy out there competing at that level. So all the best to Caitlin and their new family. Great to have Caitlin back on the Slam Tour.
Back very quickly, I might add, too.
Hasselborg trying to put some more pressure on Team Laws here with a draw.
That speaks to the athleticism of these players and teams, too, that they go through a major life experience like that and pop right back in the lineup within a couple of weeks. Good on Kate being ready to go and out here with her team again.
Great point. Certainly a lot of work goes on in the off season to prepare for these situations for all these teams. curling at this level. The best part about the Grand Slam events is it's the best in the world at the time. So. Creme de la creme. Jocelyn Peterman looking to move some guards around. Out front. They'll be able to clear up the middle. Still Hasselborg line 2 in the forefoot.
Anna's had the better of the action for most of this game, dictating the action mostly with rock positioning. A couple of mistakes for Team Laws allowed that to happen, but good execution here again from Hasselborg, and this conversation deciding about how aggressive they want to be. Do they want to peel or do they want to guard?
Looks like they're signaling the guard here, so game on. You're in the 5th end. You like that call, Tyler?
It's not really a gimme to play the double peel anyways, and they're not sure if you hit it a little bit too high that it might jam on your stones in the house. I like the guard. I think it's lined up fairly well for it. You're definitely looking at the scoreboard and saying, well, we could be peeling and keeping things open, but it's good angles to play the guard. I don't think it's a right or wrong, but continuing to control the action this way too.
Steady young players watching at home and tuning in, and I'm the beer league player, you're the Olympic gold medalist. Is that something, how does momentum come into that decision making? Is there ever a time where perhaps Anna thought to herself, you know what, we just had them on the ropes, we stole 2. We seem to be confident right now. They might be a little discouraged after the result of the previous end. Is that a factor in keeping the pedal down?
I think it factors in. I think you're playing the angles in the scoreboard before that, but yeah, if you feel like you have a team on the ropes and they're chasing, then you may look at the setup and say, well, as you said, we just got that 2 on them on the last end, pressuring. Let's keep that pressure on, and it's not a really aggressive shot. It's just continuing to play the way that they've played for the first half of the game.
There's a chance now for Team Laws to get in there for shot. Rock in front of the red line, looks good. Will they get it there? Trying to tap it back. Back button still looks like red is shot. What a good position for Team Laws.
Which team is shot affects what they're going to play that much anyways. It's like they're just throwing it to a tight guard.
They're protecting the Yellowstone in front of their red. Sarah McManus.
Our Swedish is no stronger than it was for the first slam of the season or the Europeans. But I'm going to guess that they think that they're shot based on where they're throwing this to.
I think I did see Sarah tap the red rock. That's an indication of they think they're shot, so we'll go with that. Manis, we're first here in the 5th end. Is there anywhere in particular that you want this to be or don't want it to be?
It's one of those that you just kind of want to make it. High is not a bad result. As long as it's at least half buried, you can go into the rings with it too. That one comes all the way back and probably moves the other one to shot, but the angles are still pretty good for Hasselborg. I think that was considerably deeper than what they were looking for.
Did it bump that yellow rock far enough so that Team Laws is shot now? No question. Not that it should affect the strategy too much here. Here you see the overhead angle. I wonder if there's enough room for Team Hasselborg to get at that with the intern in the top red and push the yellow one out the side. Be pretty precise here for your team Laws. Selena Negevin, her first here in 5.
Another one coming up short for Team Laws, and this is going to stagger on the guard too. Get it all the way to tight at least, so the yellow is accessible, but pretty easy decision again for Hasselborg with the scoreboard just to guard.
Pretty tough for Caitlin to find room for a second counter if they are shot rock right now. McManus trying to block the path for Team Laws. They have the hammer here in the 5th end, trailing by 3. Aberg's trying to keep it straight.
Pretty good there, does guard up the yellow, so Laws has to decide how they want to approach this.
Negevin going to come down for a chat with the skip to go over some options. Your Team Laws now, Tyler, has your goal changed with the setup and the angles and 4 foot so so crowded, if you will?
I'm not sure. You need to score, but we'll listen to what Selena's thinking here.
Timeout called. Discuss this further.
Clock has still been running for Team Laws. They called timeout quite a while ago, and the clock is still running. Now finally stops for them. Hopefully they get that time back.
Sara tror att det är de som är skott, men de tror att det är vi som är skott. Men vad tycker det är så tydligt ut i kameran här då? Men Sara tror också de. Jag vet inte om hon bara är lite pessimistisk för att hon är sugen på att få det här. Hon har ju den där inoffen, det är väl den hon har. Jag får en känsla av att det inte kan göras. Det känns som att om hon drar någonting nu här, det känns som att hon bara gaddar den. Eller? Ja. Men...
On the yellow is not the worst with a 10-5.
A good discussion with Coach Connor Negevin. Busy man.
I think we just basically have
for Team Carruthers, but he's been with this team for the last 2 years.
Yeah, okay.
Get a bit of time.
Hey, you hear the discussion about the clocks too, that probably running for a solid 20 seconds after they called timeout. probably not going to come into play with how much time they have left now, but never know. Things slow down a little bit in the second half. Every second can matter.
They're just trying to clean up the middle here.
Yeah, they're clearing the red and maybe trying to get a bonus off of the corner into the other yellow that's just off the rings.
Selena Negevin. Make contact with one in the house and move the top red to the back of the forefoot.
I just played it with softer weight, so the run or the shot right from the start was that double run playing the red into the yellow. I had to get really close to the other red guard to make that. So better than it was, and one stone above the tee line and 3 reds behind.
Any tighter? Ja, dutta och lägga skott bara. Men, så allt borta. Men ja, där på din nu, den fick jag lite grepp på den som var gränsen. Jag tror det där är bra.
Hasselborg likes what she sees. Try to guard this up. A lonely yellow stone in that forefoot. But the angles look pretty good for Caitlin. It's going to be a tough rock to remove.
Okej, men oavsett, om vi när är fart så kan det chilla lite. Och så drar den när vi sätter bra linje. För gadda är ju helt...
I'd love to move that yellow now and tap the red back so it opens up more scoring space for the last couple shots. So to take that away, Anna's going to try to get something on that line. Doesn't need to be fully in, but they need to take this draw path away to avoid that exact scenario where Laws is able to tap that yellow up and try to make space for 2 or 3.
Skip rocks in the 5th end. Trying to get it by that top one. Haberg's big sweep, trying to hold it. She'll get around. Staggers those guards up as well.
Yeah, good spot. That's the path they needed to take away. Now for Laws, they have to line up. Run backs, in-offs, things like that. There's no direct path in. So they're looking at the intern run in now.
The one that she has been throwing.
Looks like almost a double run here. They're trying to go yellow onto yellow. Perhaps trying to get all 3 guards out of the way.
Yeah, at the least, if you just clear into the red guard, you're opening up a lot of space to maybe have a way in on your final shot. But the ideal one right now would be yellow, yellow into that pocket in the back of the reds.
Caitlin Laws, her first here in the 5th end. Gonna move some rocks around out front of the rings. Inside, trying to keep this straight. Close. That's gonna make contact with that red, and as you said, Tyler, opens up that other side of the sheet, so potentially a way in for her second point.
It's a good result. It gives you multiple options now to try to get another one in. If you're Hasselborg, you might have no choice but to come in yourself. So even if you just take that path away with a guard, there's an in-off off the yellow and an in-off off the red on the opposite side. Looks like they're going to play the in-off themselves. That double lines up. They could sit a million if they make this. So yeah, they are indeed coming in and playing the double. Big shot here. A little unlucky for Laws where that yellow ended up to set up the double.
2018 Olympic gold medalist Anna Hasselborg. Coming with the fastball. Her last in the fifth. Trying to make the double. Good shot. He has the weight.
Yeah, really bringing the high hard one here.
Trying to keep it straight. Malberg's working on this one. Gonna get the first. Will they make the second one out of the way far enough? And they will for shot stone. Not able to get rid of both. An opportunity for Caitlin to perhaps tap that back and score her 2 points.
Well, as an eyelash away from sitting 4 and having Laws in a lot of trouble, but does get shot rock. Caitlin just needs to, she can make this a couple different ways. She can come off of the rock in the back of the forefoot and move the other red, or she can just throw the clean draw and sweep to just tap that stone a touch.
Only have to move it about 3 inches.
Only taking Broom in the middle of the 8-foot again, too, so not a ton of curl here.
Final rock. Here in the 5th end, chance for 2. Caitlin Laws trailing by 3. Hoping to get back to within 1. Calling back lines, a little bit of weight here. Have to get all the way to the center line. Kristen Gordon trying to make it curl. You mentioned that plan B, Tyler. We might see it here coming off the side. When will it curl enough? Into the button with the tap. Is it far enough? I think it is. It certainly looks yellow. And they will say, so mission accomplished for Caitlin Laws with a big last couple shots from her of the skip to set up the skipper's deuce. 4-3. But Hasselborg will have the hammer in the 6th end. That's on the other side of the break.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mice, eat locally, enjoy casually.
Welcome back, everybody, to the beautiful Mary Brown Center in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. It's Draw 2 here at the Coyote National. 3rd event this season on the Grand Slam of curling. A tight game here thus far. Team Hasselborg leading Team Laws 4-3. Hasselborg with the hammer. Here in the 6th end. Laws throw the center guard up. They trail by 2, so it stays on the center line, I think. So Team Hasselborg not able to make a play on that.
Yeah, that is in the no-tick zone. First 5 shots at the end. Rock touching the center line, cannot move it off the center line.
Close to the tick, speaking of no tick rule.
Moves it off, but it's option for Laws. She's going to elect to have it go back. But the non-offending team does have the option to leave the rocks where they stand if they prefer the result. Caitlin definitely could consider that on that, as she'd have 2 guards up. But will indeed put it back and remove the redstone from play. And now we'll throw a second one up.
Kristen Gordon looking to come around, or excuse me, throw the second guard. Want this one higher. That double peel more difficult for Team Hasselborg. Make a curl, so it will get to the center line. So 2 good ones from Kristen Gordon.
And with those guards up now, not much choice for Hasselborg but to come around, try to beat Laws in, take that position away. And Robbie, no issue for them with even taking a single point this end, is playing the 6th end, 8-end game. Even getting 1, you're up by 2 with 2 ends to play. Not a bad spot at all.
Sophia Madberg's looking to get around. Buried somewhere above the tee line. Good shot from Sophia.
That's perfect. Half on the top of the 4-foot. Deep enough, it's good scoring position, but not so deep that a freeze is cutting down the scoring space for Sweden's team. So have to be careful not to go back to calling them by country after the European Championships last week and calling all those games. And I don't want to do Miss Rana's team wrong, as they are another Swedish team here in the building, and she was a co-commentator for us at the Euros. Not a good time for her.
Isabella Rana, had a great chat with her on the Room Brothers podcast with John Cullen, and one thing she talked about was how special it is for their team and really what a weapon and advantage it is to live in such a small area of the world but have another world-class curling team there in Team Hasselborg, and just how it makes them better as a team. She admitted it's frustrating at times, but having them around to see and how they work and the time they put in as a young team for Team Rana, it's been good for them. 2 of the most friendly teams on tour, I think it's pretty safe to say.
Can attest to that, yeah. A couple of dandies there.
Yep. There's a double peel opportunity for Knockenhauer. Going to get them all moving.
That's really good from Aggie, getting all 3 of those going, and no center guards in play now. And they do keep a corner besides with the shooter. So now you're set up for a 0 or 2 type end with no danger in the center of the sheet. Couldn't really end up better. Great shot.
Team Laws looks like they're going to elect to hit this, Tyler. Would you ever look at the scoreboard and think maybe you're down 1 without the 6th end? Is it too early to throw another guard and try to get something going?
I think I'd probably play a guard here. It's a lot of end left. They are switching up to the guard. If you're hitting, you're not really giving yourself much opportunity at all to steal. And again, a single point by Hasselborg would put you down 2 with 2 to play, and with a 5-rock free guard zone rule, it doesn't mean you're out of the game, but definitely a pretty low percentage chance of winning, whereas a steal would flip it so that it's a lot closer to even for your chances of winning.
I'm going to slide a little deep, covering their yellow.
Anna just being very specific about where we need to hit this to not jam on our own stone. But the danger rock is still going to be the guard no matter what. So this is a scoreboard shot.
To keep this straight. The peel chance for Knockenhauer. Not going to get rid of both yellows. She'll stuff those, put them right there in the same spot. So bit of a break for Team Laws. Going to make a play on this one in the 4-foot. Do they want to roll buried here, Tyler? Or do they prefer to lie open and keep the force safer?
Well, you want to take that path away from Laws. If you roll to the corner, Caitlin's almost assuredly drawing onto the center. So Laws, they want to take this path for themselves right now. If they can get to nose, at least you're getting tight to the guard.
Trying to keep it straight, look it by the guard. No, it's going to tick.
Yeah, they really wanted to stay on the center line or even get a little inside if they could, but might have been a little soft as that ticks the guard and just rolls to back 12. But they wanted to keep the action in the center of the sheet, not roll away. But does move the center guard, so not a good result at all, as now you've opened up the middle a little more too. And Hasselborg has to decide how they want to go about the rest of this end now, with not wanting to give a roll underneath for Laws.
Yeah, 12-9, I thought that it was kind of in between, like
It's a pretty conservative shot here again. It's a scoreboard shot. They're just hitting the tighter yellow guard. Trying to roll onto the paint. Applause you here for the final score over on sheet D. Tirinzoni 3 in the 6 for the 7-2 victory over Tabata. You can watch all these games on Home Team Live's live stream.
What a great thing for the Grand Slam of curling to be able to show viewers these games earlier in the week and a bit of multi-game coverage with commentary. I believe as the week goes on, lots of curling here with Home Team Live.
Really good shot from McManus there. Sitting first and third, but getting much harder for Laws to set up a steal without any kind of legitimate center guard.
Selena Negovin. The final stone here in the 6th end. Looking to get behind the guard, that's going to roll just a little too far. And that's exposed to the side of the 8-foot.
Well, good throw, just over curls a touch. Still a decent spot and sitting 2.
Round of applause for the recently crowned European champions, Team Tirinzoni, as they leave the ice. Certainly a appreciative crowd here thus far in St. John's. They know they're curling. They're excited to have the best in the world under one roof here this week for the Coyote National. Looking to hit and stick in the rings is Team Hasselborg. This one got some curling to do. Will it hang on? Yeah, it will.
It doesn't stay for shot, so opportunity for Laws to draw again now and sit 2. Love to get this buried now. Maybe bite 4 foot, full 8 somewhere in there. Most important thing is that the rock is buried. And you'd also, Robbie, like this to be above the tee line, as it goes deep, then you're allowing Hasselborg to either draw in front of it or freeze to it, try to set up a multiple point in.
Laws, her first here in the 6th. Put some pressure on Team Hasselborg.
really needs to go to get shot.
Come on.
They need to get it to at least full 12 to outcount the 2 reds.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Won't get it for shot rock, so Team Law is still shot in the back side of the back 12-foot. Team Hasselborg lying 2 and 3. So an opportunity for them to really put some pressure on Team Law's. What's some precision required? Gotta wonder, Tyler, that's the second time in that same spot Caitlin has come up, and Hasselborg's gonna chat more about it here.
Wherever you are.
A timeout.
It's like on the minimum side of the kick.
Kan man runda 30?
I was getting like...
Eller kan man skjuta? Jag tänker att hon kanske till och med spelar in loffen om vi kommer för bra. Det var det. Då har vi bra ett.
Are you timing too? Okay.
Alltså här? Så att hon inte kan vicka in?
Ja, jag tror inte att det avslutas så jävla hårt här. Jag tror att vi kan komma dit.
Jag tror vi kan komma längre. Jag kan till och med komma...
Ja, alltså det är ju lättare. Det var mer om jag tyckte att det bara kändes tajt mot den där och komma här.
Nej, men vi vill ju hit.
Vill vi gå den handen?
Vi vill hit.
Ja, exakt. Plocka henne här. Ja, jag gillar den. Jag gillar att hålla mig borta från gadderna.
Men då sitter den där och då kan jag jaga där. Vad sa du? Ja, precis. Jag gillar den här dragningen också. Jag gillar också den.
Jag vill inte egentligen i närheten av den där.
Vi har inte dragit någon över linan där, så jag kan ju spela med lite fart dit, tänker jag.
För att det kala mer än vad det är på den här handen.
Tyler, you mentioned your Swedish earlier in the broadcast. How's it feeling after the timeout?
Hasn't improved throughout the course of the game either, but they're drawing out-turn towards the opposite side of the sheet, trying to come around their own red so it angles onto that yellow in the back of the 12-foot. If it overcurls, you may end up tapping your own up for shot too, so there's a couple different ways you can make it. But they'd really like to get this around and set it up so it's angling to that yellow. And really, you're playing to try to set up 2, Robbie. You're not concerned about the 3 or 4, because it's very likely you win the game going up by 3 points with 2 ends to play. So Anna just wants to make sure they get shot rock here.
Anna's first. You're the 6th. Trying to wait for it to curl. A little strong. Is it going to dig in? It will, but still behind the tee line, but they'll lie shot rock.
Hade ni 14-2? Nej, ja, 13-8 hade jag.
Ganska hård spelaren.
Men det kändes liksom aldrig som att den kommer vara hård liksom.
Nej, jag tycker inte. Jag hörde att jag hade en hård spik, men jag tyckte det kändes bra.
So 2 options with this path. One, to play the dead freeze. Second, to tap that rock to back 12-foot, try to roll under the redstone on the top of the 12 and sit 2. They're taking about 3-4 inches less room than what Hasselborg took. So I think they're trying to move this red stone.
Team Laws looking to take away an opportunity for multiple points from Team Hasselborg, who have the hammer and a 1-point lead here in the 6th end. discipline. Like this one is a little bit light. They're sweeping it.
And they're just playing it to the freeze, and this is going to be quite a way short again. He just hasn't been real sharp with draws over the course of the game.
Decision time for Team Hasselborg.
Well, they have the draw for 2, which you follow the exact same path. And again, we put them up 3, and they feel like they have a good chance of winning. But you can see a piece of that yellow around the outside, too.
Looks like they're going to make a play on it, so big chance for 3 coming up.
Yeah, I like the call because you can play this with a controlled weight, and if you tick the the red in the top of the 12s, you still get 2, pushing it into the 8-foot. And if you make contact with this yellow stone, it's a minimum of 3.
One thing to look for, there is a high corner guard just behind where the scoreboard is on the screen. Not sure how close that, there we go. Thank you to the production crew for giving us a look at that. It does look like there's room though, Tyler. You're right.
That rock shouldn't come into play for that shot, as long as you throw the correct weight. But yeah, I like playing a weight that if you catch a third or less of redstone in the top of the 12s, that it still pushes it in for second count. So it's a pretty safe shot as long as you throw the correct weight. I would think this would probably be board somewhere in there with that broom. Maybe solid hack. It has been very straight in the outside of the sheet.
Nonetheless, chance to hit and stick around and potentially put 4 on the board. Last stone. Anna Hasselborg here in 6. Trying to make it. Curl is going to get by there and wick anything in the house. No, it's going to go straight through. So it's just a single for Team Hasselborg and a big opportunity missed for the team from Sweden. 1 on the board, 5-3 the score. 6 ends in the books. We'll be back from the Mary Brown Center.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise. And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance, pushing limits,
seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
it's a gold line. It's a gold line. It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
Welcome back here to draw 2. The beautiful Mary Brown Center in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, the host this year for the Coyote National. 3rd stop this season on the Grand Slam of Curling. Pretty back and forth game. Team Hasselborg with a big chance to perhaps even seal the deal last end. And a little mishap from the skip on her last one. Still a score of 1 for them, but Team Law is trailing by 2, but have that all-important last rock here in the 7th end.
A really big missed opportunity for Hasselborg in the previous end. We'd seen Robbie on the outside of the sheet. The entire game, things have really been running straight. You have to be aggressive with the broom on that shot because, as we said, if you overcurl a little bit, you still wreck your own and push it in for second count. The only thing you really couldn't do was be on the wide side there, and that's exactly where Anna was, and ends up just being a single with as many as 4 on the table.
Hasselborg lying 1. Looking to guard. That's still, stone in the top 12, Tyler?
The first one I think was supposed to be a guard as well. Just went into the paint. The 2-point lead, if you're wondering why they're throwing guards, they're trying to either get a force or a steal this end. As Laws would probably prefer to blank this end out, take Hammer down by 2, then 4-2 and be tied up going to the final end without hammer. We've seen with the 5 rock free guard zone rule, 3s are more common for teams with hammer.
Kristen Gordon. Trying to get buried for shot rock. On the side of the 8-foot. Not laid a brush to it yet. There goes Peterman trying to make it curl. Looks like the weight is certainly close, and a good sweep from Jocelyn. And still a part of it sticking out though and exposed, available for Knockenhauer to try to make a play on it.
Yeah, Aggie can definitely have a go at this. Decent piece showing with some distance between the guard and the rock in the house.
Trying to keep it straight by that corner guard. Chance to roll. They get the roll right to the middle, not quite. What a good shot from Agnes Knockenhauer.
A good sweep there. And McManus and Mabergs getting that one by. Now sitting 2, and Law's going to need to roll this somewhere. Like to roll a corner behind your own if you can.
Why is that, Tyler? Perhaps young teams watching. So often you're tempted to roll towards the middle, just so early in the end, and those run backs available.
Yeah, the run's there, and they'll almost assuredly play the run if they would roll under the center. And you're cutting down your scoring space going to the center too. It wouldn't be a bad result. If that corner wasn't there, then they'd absolutely be rolling under the center. But that one just barely holds on the outside.
Bit of a break for Team Laws. That one rolled out with about 3 inches of white paint and then spun back at the last minute. So fortunate.
Another one, you want to keep the weight solid here. Cut the broom down, take the ice out of it. Exactly what Hasselborg and Knockenhauer are doing here.
Keep it straight. One's going to make the roll, trying to get it right to the center line. Great shot from Agnes.
Got really good spot there. Actually, even better than if you bury it completely, is then it plays into a better freeze or jam stone. Great shot from Agnes.
Jocelyn Peterman, second stone, Team Laws, trying to put one around that Hasselborg stone in the top 12. Jocelyn had a few key misses earlier on, but seems to have turned it around in the last few ends. Gonna make it curl. Get buried. Shot stone. They'll be shot stone, but behind the tee line, so a chance for Hasselborg to perhaps lay a nice freeze down, take the end of the way.
A big shot here from McManus. If they can lock one on. Option otherwise would be to play the clearing and run back, but then you may allow your opponent to spread things out and go into the corner.
Keepers like the weight, trying to get right to the forefoot, make it curl. Like to be shot stone here. Will they be shot? Yes, they will. And a great draw from Sarah McManus to put the pressure on Team Laws here. As Hasselborg with a 2-point lead.
A good team shot, good communication. Well done by the sweepers to carry that as far as they did. Now forcing Laws to clear. You can see that rock is completely buried.
Just shows you the level these teams are at, Tyler, that draw from Jocelyn Peterman, just sliding that foot too far. 2 feet too far and paying the price.
And Shooter stays on that one, does remove a couple reds, but now Hasselborg can go into defense mode.
Is this the part of the end, Tyler, where perhaps Hasselborg turned the page, that they're not so much thinking force anymore, but going for the steal? You mentioned at the start of the end that kind of one or the other.
Playing for the steal really is accomplishing both purposes here, too, because the only shot that Laws is going to have if things play out the way they are right now is some kind of angle or in-off for a possible 2, which still would give Hasselborg hammer tied up going to the last end. So, yeah, if they can get a steal, I mean, the Rocks are set up perfectly for it right now. Don't want to tap and sit on an angle here, though.
That's going to slide a little deep, but...
Yeah, that is not where they wanted to be. That sets up a difficult but makeable run back double for Laws to try to sit 2. Might catch that yellow. Doesn't look like there's much separation behind, so probably only to sit 1. But you were looking at having to take 2 shots to move it off count before that.
Lena Negevin trying for the run back. Needs to get this close to nose. It's going to go by everything. So Team Hasselborg still with the advantage here as we get later in this 7th end.
Yeah, that Shooter might have rolled to the worst spot it could, too. It takes away the bump path if you were trying to just jiggle those around. And it's very close to taking away the in-off off the red as well. But and now with the angles the way they are and 2 shots remaining, no question Hasselborg will just guard. Laws is it's gonna take 2 shots to probably set up a score for them now.
Skip Stones here in the 7th end. Team Hasselborg laying 1. Into guard there, Shot Rock on the button. Hasselborg's first. Gonna make this curl. Trying to get a little chip off the yellow, Tyler.
Need to now. Does redirect to the center line. Ends up with a decent result. Now Laws has to look at, is there anything we can do coming around on the intern side to move those? Doesn't look like it, so probably forced to playing a run either on either of the yellow guards. Still looking at playing red back. A little surprised they're not playing yellow in at this point in the end.
So big shot here from Caitlin. A bit of damage control. Seen Caitlin make quite a few of these over the years, so we're first here in the 7th.
Yeah, if this doesn't make contact with the Reds in the house, I'm not sure that she'll have a shot to score because of the way the angles are set up on her last. Really need to make contact with the Reds in the 4-foot.
Team Laws give her a straight run back. Will they make contact? They will, but lose their yellow.
Yeah, it's still better than it was. Now they should have a shot to score on their last. It is Hasselborg sitting 3 as opposed to 1, but the 1 point that they would have stolen probably is a game winner to put them up 3 going to the last end anyways. So they really needed to try to find a way to get a point. At least they have the opportunity now.
mer is.
Ja, då ger vi henne en lättare dragning. Om vi vill passera den helt perfekt här nu och stänga så är det ju för
Ja, jag vet.
komma
Men
lite
jag
närmare.
menar bara, jag tror samma is kan vara...
Ja, den var här i linje. Hade vi stannat så hade vi stannat här.
So Hasselborg playing 3 and throwing without the hammer. Here in 7th, they have a 2-point lead.
And Anna's going to play the shot that Caitlin would play if it's there now, playing the out turn. Taking lots of room here. Well, I would assume that they're trying to come in between those two yellows. They may just be playing the clean guard and forcing forcing Laws to play a run. I think regardless, they want to get this at least tight to the rings.
Trying to put as much pressure on Team Laws as they can. Here's Anna Hasselborg, her last in the 7th. Trying to make a curl. Chip off that yellow. It's going to plug the hole.
Yeah, good line. It's going to force Laws into playing the run. She could play it like a heavy draw for a tap too, but looks like she's lining up to run. So all or nothing here for Caitlin, throwing this against 3.
A big shot once again for Caitlin Laws. Trying to put themselves within 1 going into the last end. Final stone, 7th end, Caitlin Laws. Trying to keep it straight. Looks close. Can they hold it? Can they hold the line? Need to make contact in the forefoot. Oh, it's going to make contact, but rub off and spin out. So it's a steal of 2 for Team Hasselborg here in the 7th end. And they will take a 2-point lead heading into the 8th and final end. That's on the other side of the break. It's the Coyote National from the Mary Brown Center in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. We'll be back.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casual.
Welcome back to the Coyote National Draw 2 action here at the Mary Brown Center, St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador playing host to this event. And Team Hasselborg with a 4-point lead here in the 8th end. So some work to do for Team Laws if they want to make a comeback here in this one. Hasselborg trying to get it in the rings, looking to get right to the forefoot, they'll do so.
This is a well-thrown last rock by Caitlin in the 7th, but just overswept a little bit and doesn't quite curl enough to stick it. So little margin for error on that long of a run back, but only able to cut Hasselborg to 2, trailing by 4 now in this final end.
Team Hasselborg has won this event before. repeat their performance. You see the wide kick shot coming up. They're just looking to push this in the rings, Tyler.
Yeah, this is a 5-rock free guard zone rule shot, as they would not be able to peel until the 6th shot of the end. So really it'd be the 7th for them. So if they can put this in the house, that'll force Laws to have to guard that stone, because they can remove it now that it's in the scoring area. So Laws will put the guard up above the yellow. And if they can see any part of that stone whatsoever, they'll play it. Problem for Laws is that Hasselborg can come off of their own as well to clear that stone. So there really isn't a spot that can put this guard where Hasselborg can't remove the yellow. They have no problem removing their own stone in order to clear the yellow, as they're just playing scoreboard at this point.
Sweeper's working on this one. Looks, I thought that it was light halfway down. Put some brushes to it. It's still going to stop pretty high, but in the way of that yellow rock in the 8-foot. You can still see about half of it, Tyler.
Plenty to play the hit. This is what they were hoping for this shot.
Aberg's picking this up right away. Trying to keep it straight. Both sweepers now working on it. It's going to get rid of that yellow one, make contact with their own red, so they'll lay 2 in the 4-foot. Team Hasselborg.
4 was going to be a tall task no matter what, but extremely difficult now after those first couple shots from Team Hasselborg. Perfectly played end so far. Definitely some satisfaction from Mabergs making that shot, and then Knockenhauer being able to clear it was the whole point.
A big sweep once again from Selena Negevin. Kristen Gordon trying to get by that top corner guard. That's not going to get there.
The draw weight has been an issue for Team Laws this entire game. First game of the tournament. Obviously going to try to make some adjustments going forward, but need to clean up the draws, that's for sure.
This Knockenhauer, terrific game thus far this afternoon. Trying to clean up. Make 2 yellows go away. She'll do it and make it look easy.
Yeah, they're sharp right now. All systems go for Team Hasselborg.
We asked the question earlier on in the broadcast, or I asked you, Tyler, your thoughts on whether taking the break would be beneficial or a detriment to them, and doesn't appear to have slowed them down.
It's a results-oriented game, that's for sure. And semifinal, or sorry, runner-up finish at the European Championships, running right into this slam and coming out of the gates with what looks to be a victory. They have to be very happy with this start to the tournament.
Trying to get this one deep behind that rock in the top 4 on the center line. An easy shot. Lots of room, but don't have the weight to get there. So once again, a little miscommunication on the draw weight from Team Laws. Hermit Manis. A clean house once again for Team Hasselborg. Make the yellow go away. Hasselborg lies 2.
Simple math now. All 4 yellows are going to have to score in order to extend this game. And I don't think that Hasselborg is going to allow that to happen.
Det ligger där två sulor vid hål.
Certainly a great hitting performance from this Hasselborg team today. Hasselborg coming from Sundbyberg, Sweden, on the trip over the Atlantic, as they've done many, many, many times in their career. There's Selena Negevin. Trying to make a perfect freeze, Tyler.
It's all they have now. Just need to lock this on to one of these red stones if they can. Hasselborg will have 3 opportunities to try to remove this one or any forthcoming yellow stones. Little space there, so plenty of room to clear the yellow still.
Sarah McManus looking to seal the deal for Team Hasselborg here in draw 2. Put them in the win column. And a good way to start the event for Team Hasselborg. Sweepers trying to keep this straight. It's going to make contact with the red, but will the yellow one spill out? It will. And that'll do it. Hasselborg with a big win to start off here at the Coyote National. The 7-3 win over Team Caitlin Laws. An entertaining game. Well, the good news is, if you liked what you saw, we're going to have the coverage all week here on Home Team Live. We're going to be back at 3 o'clock with more curling action. You don't want to miss it. For Tyler George, I'm Robbie Doherty. Thank you for joining us. It's the Coyote National at the Mary Brown Center in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. We'll see you next time.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Goldline's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a Goldline.
It's a Goldline.
It's a Goldline.
And is the choice of champions.
Jeez.
Clean! Keep going, EJ!
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
-1,000 flash